Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the crypto market has started to pick itself back up. Over the past couple of hours, our trades have been destroying it. Ethereum, we put 20K in last night, it's up $1,000. Hype, we put 11,000 in or so, it's up $1,000 just now. Bitcoin, we put, 10,000 in, it's up a good amount. And XRP, of course, we put more than 150K into this trade. And I believe my first video yesterday, it was minus 84,000. Right now it's only minus 66. Some people might think this is bad, but to me, this ain't nothing. Well, just from the perspective that I don't really mind waiting for it. It was at plus $20,000 a few weeks ago. And then it was minus 100,000 again. We'll just wait it out. We added a good bunch to the positions and we'll see as the price starts moving back upwards. For Hype, I still, as of this point, think it's still quite cheap at $36 because as we reasoned, from the low towards the high is roughly about 50% plus. And it went down that whole amount in just 5 days. I still think that from this perspective, Hype is a pretty cheap buy. I will not say it's going to be around for many, many years, but I will say that the dip that it made right here, the correction that it made, means it's quite oversold. There's a good amount of money to be made on Hype, and I still kind of wish this was a 100K position instead of just 10K. And I wanted to add up, but the price instantly started moving up from the moment that I bought because I was planning to layer in. Same for ETH. I just layered in 10K and then I wanted to layer in another 10K and 10K, but I was only able to layer in twice because the price did not move down further, but we were able to catch the dip of the dip right here for ETH. I showed all this in my yesterday's video. And for XRP, it was more sporadic. I just bought every single time the price went a bit lower, went a bit crazier, with a massive spike towards the downside. Then I decided to put even more orders in after that happened, but again, none of them got filled. I put 10K on every single cent, and I was monitoring it closely. But from the moment it broke back above like 199, I stopped monitoring it closely because, well, the price never really budged anymore. The lowest it went was 196, but you can see my buys were just slowly but surely down $160 or $170 or $180,000 in this little process. I still wish it was able to get to more, but even as at this point, right? If you're wondering what has happened, well, Iran, US, Israel, it's a very interesting situation. But the most important thing that happened was that Iran, did something on a US base in Qatar. All right, I don't want to say the details too much because I worry about how YouTube sees all these things. Just know I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I a political advisor, geopolitical expert. I want everybody to be safe. I don't know how else I can make disclaimers here. And this is all satire. I don't know what else to say. But anyway, so that situation was quite, I'm going to say, of a letdown. Why? Oil went down significantly because this responds from that country to attack that base. It's kind of whack. Some expected all the whole canal to be shut down. It didn't happen. Some expected some major retaliation. This was pretty whack, especially because they gave a warning before saying, hey, evacuate. I don't mean to say it's a small thing, but six pew. The market at least saw it as not that big a deal. The market is pricing in right now that it's just basically done for. There's no more further or at least heavier conflict. And that's also why some of our coins are recovering. And I still stand when I say, if you religiously buy XRP at $2, I've been saying this for months, it always seems to work. I don't know. But even now again, right? And I've told you this yesterday in my video. XRP always bounces hard off of $2. It seems to always do that. Every single time. There's only one time that it broke through, and this is kind of what we are afraid of. All right, even though we bought a good chunk right there, I'm still afraid of another massive break. But if you take a look at this $2 range, right, like the top of this green, basically, if you had, this is not so easy to see. It's not so overseeable anymore. But let's just take it from me here. If you had consistently bought at the $2 range, you would have made a ton of profit over time. Even if you just bought at $2.10, something like that, you would have still made a ton of money over time. And I keep telling people that it's kind of worth it to be a little bit off the risk scale. But then on the opposite side, in cases of massive war, potentially, it's always nice to keep some money on the side, which is what we did. But even right now, $2.05, it's still kind of cheap. But again, to layer in now instead of at the 190 actually that I got to from just yesterday, it always sucks a little bit because the price is already up roughly 8% or so since that bottom. And that's also what you can see back in our trades. The hype trade is up 30%, even though it's just 3x, right? It's just 3x leverage. ETH is up 60%. Why did I use 3x leverage? Because I just want to keep these open for a longer time and kind of see if we can double our money with this quicker than just holding spot. Because what I stated before is I think you can basically keep a 3x long open forever. And if you discount funding fees, you'll still make more money than just buying it normally. So here, let's say I wanted to put $3,000 into HYPE, right? That's all I wanted to put in as an example. Well, instead of just putting $3,000 in, I think it's almost always worth it to do it with 3x leverage to get up to a $10,000 bag. So if you want to put 1 million in, instead of just putting 1 million, you put 3 million, right? Because of the 3x leverage. Same for ETH, same for HYPE, same for Bitcoin. You tend to be quite safe with that. Over prolonged periods of time, especially if you do it with the bot strategy. And actually, a nice little update on that. Yesterday, I was really mostly focused on the shorter term trades, but if I had done my strategy, like I tell you guys about every single day, of buying every single position as they're down 50%, you can see many of these were down close to 50%, if not more, right? So this one still was down 50, but it was down probably a lot more, but it didn't open Payonics. This was down 67%. If I just, again, started buying the dip massively when that happened, the amount of profit I could be making right now, for example, would be pretty severe. Again, this was down 78%. Damn, significantly. Right? Some of you will look at this and think, oh my days, it's doing so bad. No, it was the whole point. I've said 1,000 times, you gotta be prepared for these positions to be at a pretty big loss. All you gotta do is DCA, increase the position a little bit, buy a little bit more on the way down. Make sure you have some money for margin and wait, as it's a volatility bot. They basically make money as the price does this. So if the price goes down exactly what you bought, you got a bit unlucky. Preferably, right, it does what Bitcoin did here, where from your entry, it goes up significantly, so you're never at a really unrealized loss, and then starts moving like this. That's preferable. Also, I'm sorry if you hear like a big grass mower in the background. I'm not sure what the English name, lawnmower in the background. You can't help it, right? I'm in a freaking plantation. You can't help these things. But similarly with XRP, if you see it right here, for example, this, even though the XRP price was significantly lower, even now is lower than what we started at. You can see we started at $2.08. It's right at $2.5, $6 or so. We're still actually at a profit. Why? Because again, it's making money on the price going up and down and up and down. And if you just keep it for long enough, you tend to never really get into a loss anymore. It's just because we opened these quite recently that we still have a bit of an issue and that we didn't have a good pump, like a base pump yet. But if you, for example, got into the bot at the lower XRP price of 190, for example, you'd see that right now it started gritting out these profits and probably never be at a loss again. So it's just a matter of maybe you got a bit unlucky with the timing, but generally over time, as you can see here, right, our main bot is 7.6K in profit in the last 50 days almost. And even though we're still down 10% from what we bought at 211, it's now 206. We still actually are in a profit, and that is the goal for every single one of these. All you got to do though is just let them ride for a bit longer. They will catch themselves up. It just takes a good amount of time. But also, if you want things too fast, sometimes things get bad, right? These I should just be adding towards. I should have done that last night, though. I have a bit of FOMO now that I'm like, I should have just sat here adding to every single one of the positions. Hopefully, y'all did, though, because I keep talking about it in every single one of my videos. But with so many positions open, sometimes you get lost. Now, some are also wondering about the challenge. The thing is, I've already told you, this 10K to $1 million is just investment. It's not the amount of money that I may need. I've added a lot of margin just to make sure I don't get wrecked. And this will also probably take a year or 3, maybe 2-3 years. And the reason I did a 5x XRP is just to make it faster. My friend that was able to do it from 4,000 to 1 million did a Bitcoin 3x long, but it took really 3 years. My aim is to make it a bit quicker than that, but also I have to just accept then that it will be probably sitting at a loss for the majority of this journey because I cannot buy the dip. Like right now, I would normally just add another 15K or so to this position, but I can't, right? And because we keep reinvesting at higher prices whenever we're on profit, we have to just accept that right now it's going to be cashing out, cashing in, cashing out, cashing in at these lower prices, and just for our P&L look a bit ugly. But again, give this time, look back in a few months, and you'll see the amount of profit that we're in. It's all just a matter of patience, which a lot of people have seemed to have forgotten about, that patience is a thing. But overall, I'm not scared. I'm enjoying every single part of this. I just still, and I keep thinking about this, I still wish that I just add harder to these positions. Right now, we're in a 1K profit on both of these that we just opened with 3x. Could have been significantly more though if we went a bit ballsier, but we are little whiny asses. Same for XRP, right? We were deciding to go really big, but yet we didn't. Still, perhaps a time for that will come. If you look at Twitter, there's so many people saying that we're going to go down way further than what we've just seen. All I'm saying is this proves again that you can almost always make money on a massive war type of candle and massive announcements like this, but it's still, from a risk reward perspective, wise to keep some money on the side in case things do escalate. Because right now, even though you might think, oh, but Dusty, you're still 65K in the minus, so was that DCA buying really proper? I'm gonna say no, right? I should have added significantly more to make sure our average price is lower, specifically because it was 255 before. We were adding at 190. We could have probably gotten this down to like I'm gonna say $2.05, $2.07, something like that, if we were adding harder. And then at this point, it will be in break even, right? So we'd actually be up 65,000 or something like that if we added another couple 100,000 to the trade. But then still, from another angle, this will also get back to profits, just a matter of time. And sometimes it's wise to just not ever be in a stressful position. If it gives you stress, you're doing it wrong, which is why right now I'm just kind of happy we're chilling with this. Just slowly but surely it's crawling back up. I'll give it some time. If we do see another massive dip though, it'll just keep adding nicely, and we'll make sure we get to that $1 million position soon. At least if another massive dip occurs, we will see that. But yeah, that's about it for right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you want to also trade, I've got some links down below to Blowfin, WeX, just whatever link you like. If you want to do the bots, check out Payonix. You'll see how much profit we're in over the next few months. Just give it some time if you don't believe it just now. And that's about it for right now.